Hey Chris, Tyler here. I'm just shooting this video. I know we spoke about it last week, just giving some clarification on the link acquisition overview and exactly where your budget sort of goes to. So I know I'm getting this out a little bit late. Things always seem to have piled up last week, but I'm doing this now. So basically, what there are three main ways that we use the budget, and I'm just going to clarify it in this video as we spoke about before. Here you can see is the software that looks at all the backlinks for a particular website. So referring domains is the number that we're trying to boost up. And you can see if you compare Playground Sessions to some of the other big sites in the industry, in regards to music and piano. We're behind in that number, but it doesn't always matter so much. You're sort of in, it's not like you've got 100, you've got 400 links or so. A lot of it has to do with the quality of those links, but Hoffman have, 600. Artist Works, I know we mentioned that before. That's a big powerhouse site with all different piano, guitar, singing. They've got 1,300. Flowkey, another example, they've got 800. So we're in the bottom of those referring domains, so to speak. But it doesn't always matter. You can have 300 of these can be bad links that technically sometimes we've noticed don't have that big of an impact. But that is technically the number that we work on, but we're trying to build really strong and good links that last, that matter. So yes, that number is lower, but it's not always the case where the lower amount of referring domains coming in means that you're at the lower position, but it's a benchmark that we kind of look for. So one first way that we use the budget is just the time in terms of research, where we'll go on Hoffman Academy and look at all their backlinks coming in, and we see which ones that we can acquire as well. So it's more of a research and time intensive task, where we look at, this is a website that's linking to them, and right away we can kind of see that it's a blog spot, so we probably wouldn't look into that particular one. But we look down here, free list, only passionate curiosity, that might not be a good one. They look at here, how to buy a piano, so they've got an article on WikiHow, so we might look into that and say, how can we get a link from WikiHow to Playground Sessions? Now this is a big website here. It's not always possible that we can get one, but we might be able to look into this and say, hey, we can get an article up on this site linking back to Playground Sessions. So that's one way, is to analyze these sites and look to see if we can acquire a link where our competitors have acquired a link. So it's more time intensive, and you've got to sort of have an eye for which ones can apply and which ones can't. So they've got hundreds of links. The other competitors have hundreds of links. So that's one way of acquisition that we do. The other way is basically getting links on websites like this. There are some which offer you a guest post. So you go on to sites that have this opportunity where you can put up an article and link back. So these are sold. Basically, there are a lot of places where you can get these that are sort of bad neighborhoods that aren't good. I have access to some that are good, that do a good job, that are related to piano and so forth, but you need to purchase them. Sometimes they're, the better ones are $200 each for a purchased link. Now you don't want to use your whole budget here because you don't necessarily have total control over these, and you don't want to just use a whole SEO budget on purchasing these types of links. You just want to sort of sprinkle in a few of these within your budget. One, you don't have control. They can get up and be quite expensive, and you want to diversify the type of links coming in so it's all natural. And some of them have good power and good quality, but some don't. So basically that's a mix that we can do in terms of using some of the budget towards these type of guest posting. The other way that I mentioned is that you do research intensive work and acquire the other links that your competitors have. And then another way is basically you go out and research sites that are can potentially be related to piano that are down, and you acquire them and you refurbish them. So this is a tactic that we use where we go on this particular website, we find some older sites and we acquire them, buy them, set them up, and then you can link out to them from there. So the process here, we find the domains. Okay, so I've just loaded up a quick example here within this dashboard. So this is some of the stats. I'm not going to talk about all of them here, but we've got music and arts, and we try and find some good, powerful, healthy sites that are on auction that we can acquire and set up and refurbish for the piano niche, and then send those links back to you. So basically what we do here with the budget is we do a search like this, and then we research these various websites, all the good, healthy ones that we can potentially acquire, and basically they go to auction. Some of them start at a low bid, and then you auction and you bid on them, and if you acquire them, then we refurbish them. So some of the past auction sites here that you can see, sometimes you can acquire these at a low rate, but sometimes these can be quite expensive. So these are just a bidding list of ones that we did not acquire through this campaign and various other campaigns that we're running. And you can see some of them are sold at several $100s for just the particular site. Then we host it, and then we get articles up on it and so forth. So you can see the range here is 400 to 150. Sometimes we can get them for $50, but sometimes really good ones that are healthy and strong, other people bid on, and it drives the price up where you're spending several $100s just to acquire one. That's one auction site. There's another one here, and again, some other sites that we did not acquire. Some of them are thousands, and most of them are just in the $100 type of range. So that's where the budget is going to. We can do it on research from your competitors, which is good and useful, but it's time intensive. We can acquire links through some vendors, but we don't want to do a lot of them. We just want to sort of mix in a few of these as a good option. And then a lot of them we can acquire some auction sites that are good and healthy related to piano, but the prices vary based on the sites that are available, what people are bidding on, and so forth. And then we create those into proper websites. So the budget is used in these three areas, but it's necessarily not every month that you will acquire the exact same amount. It depends on where the budget is used and sort of what's available that month, and so forth. So that's sort of an overview of basically what we've been doing and what we plan to do moving forward. So it's right. So just to recap, those are the three sort of overview strategies. Certainly diving in and looking at your competitor links is a strategy that we always use. And although here we gave a quick overview of what that is, sometimes that could be quite intensive. There aren't just three sites. There's, any site related to piano or learning online, you can jump in, analyze their backlinks, and look to acquire those. So that can be, a major part of the budget, which is a good strategy, but it takes a lot of time, and it's sort of think of it as a labor-intensive sort of task. And then the other strategies are through those other means of link acquisition as well. So we try and do a good mix of all three of those. And certainly when you analyze other different websites, that goes into various other tasks to acquire those, whether it's just a post somewhere or discussing with another website whether you can get a link through an article on their site and so forth. So there's more that goes into sort of all three of these type of strategies, but the main thing is to you try and drive this number up here, but with quality links that are related to learning piano online. So this strategy certainly is not going to get this to 1,000 referring domains in a few months. You just don't have that capacity with this type of strategy moving forward. So that's what we've been doing and what we will be doing. In terms of time and results, the only sort of talking point there is just that at the moment we just don't have enough of these built. That's always going to be, the main discussion point in terms of trying to get to page one for those big terms. We just need to, rinse and repeat and get more of these type of links. Now, moving forward, if this strategy continues and we sort of stay in the same place, that's potentially might be a scenario where you might want to look into some other SEO agencies or SEO people who might offer a different type of strategy. So this is what we continue to do and what we would continue to do moving forward. But if you don't like the idea of that, or in several months we still haven't made progress with this strategy, then certainly looking elsewhere and some other type of strategy is always an option, and that's something that you may want to consider doing as well moving forward. So those are just some thoughts, and that's where the budget is. And certainly let me know what you think, where you want to move forward with this, if you want to continue with this type of strategy, or if you thinking that moving forward with some other strategy, certainly an option as well. So let me know, Chris. And if I don't talk to you before your trip, certainly have a safe trip, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.